And we are live with episode 11, I believe, of The Legend of Heroes Trails to Azure. Let's check. Let's check the episode number. It is indeed 11, okay. Also, as y'all can see, I upgraded the car. Apparently the parts that I was looking for, the HP, EP, and CP charger, were available since the beginning of Chapter 2. We're on day 3. That means I've been spending money on CP when I didn't have to. This entire chapter. Also, I got a bunch of pallets, and honestly, it's either CPD or Sky from what I can. I also looked them up. This is like Ellie and Tio, and then there's like a bunch of other ones. It's either this one or this one, but like for simplicity's sake, I just have the. Apparently, someone was missing some EP. Anyway, but yeah, I hacked up, and now I have 15k. Yeah, I need some Sepith. We're scheduled to meet up with Dudley on the first floor at noon. We still have a little bit of time, but maybe we should head in now. Because sorry, you will be unable to buy new equipment, items, or upgrade your ornaments. Additionally, be warned that all outstanding quests will expire. We've done all the quests. Twitch, why are you telling me that I am live? I applied for a good like a dozen jobs today. Help, your boy needs money. Wow. Get a load of this place. It's like high tech meets fancy living. This feels even more futuristic than the IBC building. Every floor is wired up to the orbital network as well. There's also a direct line to the IBC for instant updates on stock market prices. I heard about that. Uncle Dieter insisted on it. True economist to the end. He has banking on the brain, even as a statesman. Well, all we can do now is wait for Dudley to come pick us up. The conference isn't open to the general public, so why don't we have a seat over there? The same day, 12 p.m. There you are. We're literally right by the door. The fuck do you mean there you are? Hello, Dudley. I'm ready for our assignment. It's noon sharp. The trade conference begins at 1 p.m. As for the dignitaries, they'll be here in around 30 minutes time. Got it. Where should we make our way for now, in that case? I'd prefer to familiarize you with the venue myself, but there's been a change of plans. Came to let you know that someone else will be showing you around. Someone else, meaning... Good day, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for coming today. Mayor Croy? Uncle! I love it. Ellie, Lloyd, how long has it been? A few weeks or so? Hello to you too, Wazzy and Noel. Ah, and it's been far longer since I've seen you, Randy, Tio. Welcome back. Appreciate it. It's good to see you again. Yes, it is, but what are you doing here? The conference starts in less than an hour. Is it really okay for you to take the time out to greet us? Nonsense! The preparations are just about finished. We're simply waiting for the dignitaries to arrive in the meantime. I thought showing you around the building would make for a good break of sorts. Justice is alright with you, Dudley? As you say, Mr. Mayor. He's like, you're the boss. I can't really say no. See to it you don't do anything to embarrass yourselves in front of him. Once you're done, come to the security command room on the 34th floor. Understood. They're all yours, Mr. Mayor. I'll see the rest of you soon. You have my gratitude. Everybody a streamer. Anyway. He's a talented detective, but a little inflexible, isn't he? Though perhaps it's that particular quality that makes him so good at his work. The First Division does have a reputation for doing things by the book, after all. Yeah. Sorry, how did Guy Bannings end up the way he did, if they're supposedly doing things by the book? Where are my manners? I forgot the most essential of all tool procedures. Ladies and gentlemen of the SSS, welcome to Orcus Tower! Sorry, I have to. Follow me if you would. I have to go, like, really, like, announcery voice. Same as ever. Yes, and the apple we call Mariabelle didn't fall far from his tree. Maybe, but it is nice of him to show us around personally before the conference. Sure is, let's take him up on his offer. Wait, no, I need to go grab a book of some sort. Mach speed! Yeah, none of the paintworks. I looked up all of the paintworks. They're not worth. Bro, seeing Orcus Tower in Azure is so good. Hey, wait. Oh, hey, we get to see Toa. Oh god, Julia and Mueller together. Oh no. There are 3 elevators? No, you're just showing off. Hold up. Let me kill off Discord because it's apparently taking like a million resources. Well, the building is 40 stories tall, and just for the record, there are actually 6 elevators if you count the ones reserved for private use. He's just like, oh no, by the way, this is only half. That's impressive. Keep in mind that we don't have time today to visit every floor. Sadly, we'll have to limit ourselves to those related to the conference. Now, without further ado, let us begin with the 34th floor, where the security command room is stationed. After you. Technically, we're 6, right? Yeah, okay. 3 of us should go in first, and then Dieter, and then 3 of us go in after. I see. I heard the same from Dudley. It's quite a tricky situation we find ourselves in. Yeah. The Jaegers in Heiue are cause for concern, not to mention whatever it is the Imperial Republican governments are up to. Yeah, it's fine, you know, it's just assassination. On top of that, there are terrorists aiming to take the lives of 2 heads of state. And that isn't even including yesterday's mystery hacker. Would I be right in assuming that the stolen blueprints originated from one of your processing units? Regrettably, yes. It would appear a sub-terminal of Orcus Towers was hacked into. After the IBC was hacked months ago, I had our systems department boost their anti-hacking countermeasures. But clearly, it wasn't enough. It's never enough! Not with the Society of Ouroboros out there. When you think about it, though, hacking isn't exactly the most commonplace skill. Yup, the most logical culprit would have to be someone with ties to the Epstein Foundation. Chief Roberts is currently looking into that possibility. Though my intuition tells me that isn't the case this time. No matter, all we can do is wait for the results of his investigation. Eager Corps, a criminal syndicate, the looming threat of terrorists. There's plenty to worry about already. Yeah. What's most troublesome, however, are the motives of a number of our esteemed dignitaries. In other words, what some of the leaders are hoping to gain from the conference. The end of the world. I have no idea what Rocksmith's up to. Averting the end of the world. And averting the end of the world. Lecter, Killica, Julia, Mueller. Yeah. Giselle and Grant. Who the hell are Giselle? So I'm hoping to get from the comments. You saying you're suspicious of the people you yourself invited? I have no misgivings about Princess Claudia or Prince Oliver, mind you. And the Grand Prince of Remiferia has given me no reason to doubt him either. Chancellor Osborne and President Rocksmith, however, are another matter entirely. Yeah, Chancellor Osborne wants to trigger the apocalypse so that his son could avert the end of the world and beat up Ishmelga. This whole man's played the long card. Holy shit! The leaders of 2 major powers. They have the most to gain from controlling Crossbell's future. Have they tipped their hands on that front already? Quite the opposite, actually. We've already sent preliminary proposals for various treaties and accords to each country out of the conference. Both sides have reacted suspiciously favorably toward everything we've suggested thus far. The way they're behaving, you would think those two are all for equitable growth in Western Zemuria. Osborne? Equitable growth? I mean... You know. That seems unlikely to say the least. The Empire and the Republic tend to clash over even the smallest issues. Correct, these sudden shifts in disposition make me all the more uncertain about how this conference might unfold. I've already prepared for the worst case scenario, mentally speaking. That seems wise. So on top of all the immediate danger, we're stuck in a political trap too. Times like this are when I'm glad to have Speaker McDowell to lean on. If we play our cards right, we should also have the support of Liberal and Remiferia. No, you more or less have the support of Liberal. Remiferia is the coin flip. During these negotiations, come what may, my heart is steel. The only thing more I can do is pray that Adios is in our corner as well. It's hard to believe you have even more on your plate today than I realized. I'm sorry to take up your time with this tour. Don't mention it. On the contrary, I relish the opportunity for a nice change of pace. Yeah, pretty much. That's why I insisted I be the one to show you all of you around. Well, when you put it that way, it would be our honor, Mr. Mayor. Heck yeah, we're down if you are. That's what I like to hear. Ah, perfect timing. We've arrived. Ding ding. I love it. 34, event staff floor. Why did I announce that of all things? Incredible. Zoom, zoom, zoom. Bro, this tower is amazing. Oh, that's the... I remember getting on top for during CS3, I believe. Whoa. It's absolutely amazing. Boy, is it. Get a look at that view. I'm glad you all find it as satisfying as I do. This is the 34th floor, where much of the staff will be on standby during the trade conference. Are you ready to have a look around? Lead the way, Mr. Mayor. Oh yeah, I found chapter 4 of Sunshine Agnes, like the text for it, so I can still do the whole we're gonna read every chapter thing. I might just do it straight off of the text I found. Here we are. Here we have the security command room, and there's the press room just next door. There will be a company of guardsmen from the CGF on the floor below in the event of any terrorist infiltration. Right, I remember being briefed about that. I bet they're gonna send the best the CGF has to offer. Suppose the press room is where Grace will be spending all of her time. You mean the reporter from the Crosswell Times? That's right, I believe I saw her name on the list, so we can expect she'll be attending. Bear in mind that the press aren't permitted to leave this floor, with the exception of the press conference or any scheduled interviews. Sounds reasonable enough. It's necessary. Sometimes reporters can get a little pushy for a surprise Q&A session, enough to slip past security even. Grace likely accounts for most of those instances, if not all of them. Ow, Tio! Yikes! I can already picture us dragging her away from somewhere she's not supposed to be, and Lloyd's just like, yeah, I see that. Oh boy. Tio with the like casual roasts, just straight up feet energy. I love it. I take the opportunity to show you into this room. Well now, this is more my kind of place. Looks like a break room, but it's so spacious. Precisely, this is the lounge I prepared for the conference. Feel free to use it yourselves during your downtime. Thank you, we'll be sure to. We can always stop by for tea later. Let's head to the next floor, shall we? Yeah! Is this an emergency stairwell? Looks like the way going down is sealed off though. Normally you'd be able to use these stairs to ascend all the way to the first floor. However, we've sealed them off in preparation for the conference. Only the stairs between floors 34, 35, and 36 will be open. In other words, it's a security measure. What do people do in case of emergency, say if an earthquake occurs? Should such an event come to pass, the gates to the stairwell will automatically open. Which just goes to show that no security plan is foolproof, not when you have to account for the unexpected. True, we'll do our part to cover any possible gaps. Devising anti-hacking protocols will be a necessity, it seems. Since we're here, why don't we take the stairs? Next stop, the 35th floor, home to the International Conference Room. Woo! Bro, there's like 1,000,001 events today. Oh, is this it? Conference room. Nah, that's right. Before you is the stage upon which world leaders will pursue the elusive dream that is diplomacy. This, ladies and gentlemen, is the International Conference Room. It even says conference room. I wish the text on the things was like updated. It's incredible. Yeah, that's the table from the opening. I've never seen anything like it. He must have had to take a chunk out of the next floor up with how high the ceiling is. As it so happens, the 36th floor was designed in the shape of a U so as to accommodate the conference room. The antechambers to either side will house the staff of each respective dignitary. The person's security details will be on standby there as well. Oh, that's smart. Well, they all have to go somewhere, don't they? Let us move on to the final floor of our tour, shall we? VIP floor. The rooms prepared on this floor will be provided to the dignitaries participating in the conference. Allow me to show you around. After you. Whoa, check this place out. Talk about swanky. If you gave me a room like this, I don't think I'd want to leave it. This one will serve as a waiting lounge for Prince Oliver. There are rooms in the West Wing as well, one assigned for each visiting participant. They also double as spaces to cool one's head, should things get too heated during the conference. Cool one's head? Yeah, Oliver does not need that. Mueller, maybe. That makes sense. Are these rooms fitted with orbital cables as well? That's right, we requested that the wiring be conspicuously installed. Now then, why don't we put the other rooms aside for now? You see, there's one final place I'd like to show you. At ease, gentlemen. From these windows, you'll be able to command a full view of the conference as it progresses. There are currents to make things private should a confidential meeting take place, but they'll be open on this occasion. Good to know. This way we can get a quick glance at how the conference is going while we're on patrol. That's right, and if anything were to happen, we could rush in as soon as we saw it. We should make this a routine stop on our route then. With that, you've seen all 3 floors that will be part of your security rounds. However, if you follow me, there's one more place I've been saving for last. You mean this wasn't it? Huh, so where are we going? Isn't it obvious? The spot with the best view of all. My man. My man! The rooftop. Whoa. Look at that, it's breathtaking. Ah, yes, where, you know, literally ripped into Campanella. I think twice. Yeah, yikes, that is a view. Wow, words don't do justice. Not in the least. That city looks like a miniature model from this far up. Dang, makes me wish this whole get-together was after dark, but the view at night's insane. This area will eventually become an observation deck for the public. It'd be a terrible waste, after all, to restrict something so marvelous to government officials only. I'm sure people will love it. Yeah, and I'm sure Ouroboros will also love it when they get ripped into by a child. That was funny. I'm sorry, that was the funniest thing ever. I can't wait for us to take Kia here too. Oh, pardon me. Grow here. Is that so? Understood. I'll be there right away. Hold up. I'm pretty sure you guys can hear me swallowing. Which is like, oops. At least you know I'm hydrating. Because that was a very satisfied the tower. Forgive me, ladies and gentlemen, but I'll have to take my leave here. Not at all. Thank you for showing us around. We appreciated it. Boy, did we. That was something else. Ah. Some days I wish I had, like... I mean, I do technically have Bluetooth earbuds, but I'd rather not waste the battery on them. It was the tour of a lifetime. I'm glad you enjoyed it, and thank you as well for giving me the change of pace I needed. I'll be seeing you all. Good luck with your security duties, and remember, give it everything you've got. We won't let you down. It's the least I can do to pay you back for that letter of recommendation. ADS be with you. I'll be praying for your success at the conference. As will I. Alright, let's make our way back to Dudley. There should be a command room on the 34th floor by now. Now that your work begins, here's hoping this goes smoothly. Yeah, fingers crossed. The same day, 1 p.m. I thought we were... Let's hereby call to order the main session of the West Zemuria Trade Conference. Henry McDowell shall have the honor of officiating the proceedings. Conference is scheduled to run for approximately 5 hours, during which there will be one intermission period. However, depending on how deliberations are progressing, a limited extension may be granted. I'd now like to introduce you to two observers that will be joining us for the conference. Lawyer Ian Grimwood. He's a legal expert who is active not only in Crosswell, but in our surrounding nations as well. I request that he attend today's conference due to his familiarity with both common and international law. It's a pleasure to be here, everyone. I am Ian Grimwood, at your service. Ah, so this must be Crosswell's famous Grizzly Grim. Yes, I've heard of you as well. They say you're primarily concerned with issues regarding civil rights. It is an honor to meet you. You flatter me. I hope my expertise proves useful to everyone today. Next, Bracer Arios McLean. You recognize the name from his many outstanding achievements in our neighboring countries. I request that he too attend as a neutral observer on behalf of the Bracer Guild to further ensure our safety here today. That is correct. I'm Arios McLean. A pleasure to make your acquaintances. So this is the Divine Blade of Wind. The speaker assumes right. Your reputation greatly precedes you, even over in the Republic. Tales of your deeds reach the Imperial capital as well. People often speak of Crossbell's Divine Blade, a man swathed in wind-born might. I'm honored. Without further ado, we will begin by going over each proposal of today's docket. Mayor Dieter Croy will be our first proponent. The floor is yours, Mayor Croy. Thank you. Now, if you'd all direct your attention to Bill number 1 and your provided materials. Hey, yo, I don't want to hear this. Like, honestly. It's begun. Yeah. We knew that Arios would be here, but I had no idea Mr. Grimwood was going to play a role too. It seems his moniker of Grizzly Graham is well known outside of Crossbell as well. Keep in mind, conferences such as these are meant for establishing accords and agreements between governing bodies. As such, it's necessary to have someone on hand with expertise in international and common law. Oh, I see. And who would make a better advisor for that than Grizzly Grim himself? It's nice that we can see the start of the conference and all, but this stuff is way over my head. It's not as though it's our place to be concerned with the actual discussions during the conference. Focus on what matters most, making sure today passes without incident. Understood. Should we begin as planned? Yes, I've tasked you with patrolling the 34th, 35th, and 36th stories. Everyone on these floors should know who you are and why you're there. I'd advise you to take time to speak with members of the media and the staff of the dignitaries. Roger that. Good, I'll be heading back to the 34th floor now. May Adios protect you. Call me if anything happens. Dudley's usually pretty steely, but even he's on edge today. I noticed too. It's hard to imagine today ending peacefully after what we experienced last night. I agree. We're going to need to be hyper-vigilant on these patrols. No kidding. What do you say, leader? Ready to get the show on the road? I am. Let's follow Dudley's advice and speak with all the other parties present. That's the elevator, so this should be the rooms. I'm in the 36th floor. Okay, we have northeast room, Lecter, center left, Kilika, center right. No. Nope. Okay, so these rooms are all empty. Yeah, okay. Northeast, so... Lecter! Hey, there you go. Man, get a load of that view. Ain't it something, SSS? Lecter? What are you doing here? Oh, come on, guys. I'm part of His Excellency and the Chancellor's... His Excellency the Chancellor's staff. Nothing unusual about me kicking back in here. Anyway, good to see you again, gang. We really gotta stop meeting like this. Even today of all days, you look like you don't have a care in the world. What he looks like is someone with something to hide. Hey, don't be like that, little lady. Only thing I'm hiding under all this charm is additional surplus charm. Ah! You unscrupulous bastard. I've seen Northern War. You are sus as fuck. So those gloves on your faces tell me you guys have a boatload of questions you want to ask. That's right, we've learned a thing or two in the past 24 hours, specifically about the Imperial government's actions, or lack thereof, regarding the trade conflicts. Alright then, I'm not exactly sure what you've heard, so let me shoot you a question of my own. Did you know that I'm working with the noble faction to take Gileath Osborne's life? Oh, what? Oh? Consider the source, everyone. Don't listen to what he says. I ain't falling for this one again, pal. Fools once, shame on you. Dang, don't ruin a guy's fun like that. 2 out of 6 ain't bad. Well, I was hoping to string half of you along at least. I suppose we could just chalk that one up as a crude attempt at humor then. Listen, Lecter, because I need to make something clear. I don't care what your position or goal is. From where I'm standing, you're the type of person who knows how to take responsibility and get the job done. Owing to that, the most logical thing to do would be to cooperate with us, at least as far as security is concerned. Am I wrong? So that's your play. I was only fooling about the turncoat business just now, but you can't tell me it's a totally impossible picture, right? You gotta keep your eyes peeled at all times, stay vigilant, and see the signs. That's the key to a good writer finding inspiration, you know? I don't know any aspiring authors in this room last I checked. I've seen broken rifles shoot straighter than this guy. Sorry, but that's all the advice I can give you at the moment. You should keep an open mind about how things might play out. Expect the unexpected and all that jazz. That's real helpful, thanks. Even now, I can't get a read on what he's thinking. I feel like I understand him even less than I did before. Yeah. Lecter, why are you so fucking annoying? That's the only one on the 36th floor. It's just Lecter. Wait, then where's the elevator? Oh. We got... Alright. Center left and center right. What the hell does that mean? Oh, that's what that means. Well, look who it is. How go your patrols, SSS? The Killer Cup? The looks on your faces tell me you have some intel about what could happen today. Might have something to do with your invitation aboard the Arcee, perhaps. I beg your pardon? We should have expected you would already know. Jeez, how do your sources even get this stuff? Settle down, it isn't anything to fret over. I'm curious though, did you hear anything of note? There's only some friendly advice, nothing more. There's still plenty we have to figure out for ourselves. Is that right? Well, the same could be said of myself. What? I was merely thinking aloud. I can envision as many scenarios as I'd like, but that doesn't mean any of them will come to pass. With so many conflicting motives, there's still much we don't know. That's true of everyone working here today. Will today be the day that the first domino falls, or is that juncture yet to come? Who can really say at this point in time? I think I understand what you're getting at, but still. Either way, she's right on the mirror. The only thing I'll add is that my role today is nothing more than that of a presidential guardian and keeper. In that sense, you could almost consider us as colleagues. I would say we put aside our allegiances and simply watch how today unfolds. Beyond that, I have no further comments to make for the moment. Fair enough, thanks for the information. Look, a Stella! I've had a nervous wreck all day. Okay, let's opportunity go to waste, especially after all Prince Oliver's done for the Academy. Supporting, I'm here as a representative of Thor's. I've got to pull myself together and chip in. What's going on a school uniform doing here? Lloyd's just like, what the fuck are you doing here? Bro. I did hear that a student was going to be accompanying the Imperial government to the conference. Supposedly they're hoping to gain some real-world experience, being one of the best and brightest of their academy. This must be our... Damn. And here I was thinking someone just couldn't find a babysitter. So I got the feeling she and I would have a lot to talk about. She has to have skipped a grade or two, right? Well, you never know. That girl just might be around the same age as you and Lloyd. She's like she's got a good head on her shoulders. So I guess she could be older than she looks. It would be nice to know her, but we're a bit pressed for time today. Let's just put together the conference minutes and review the draft we're sending to the Imperial Times. Oh, I need to respond to Radio Trista's media request too. Jeez. Good afternoon, everyone. If it isn't the special sports section, I take it you've been securing the conference floors for everyone. That's right, we managed to eke out an assignment as part of the security. So this room is where they've stashed all the big guns, is it? Metaphorical speaking, of course. I don't know how metaphorical it is to have Julius Schwartz and Mueller Vander in a room and call that metaphoric. No. I bet every last person in here is a ranking officer. Correct. By all accounts, this room alone could prevent a major incident. Absolutely. Not to mention Senior Captain Schwartz's swordsmanship, for it's as fearsome as it is elegant. You are far too kind. It's nothing so extraordinary. That being said, no matter what happens, no one will lay so much as a finger on her highness. I swear it. Trust us to protect the conference room, and we will trust you to keep watch over the other floors. Of course, thank you. Wait, is... Oh, they can actually enter the... Bruh, it's literally right here. That's good. It's good to see you again, Major Vander. Have you noticed anything out of the ordinary yet? Hello there, SSS. It's hardly enough reason to let our guards down, but things have been calm thus far. Even the discourse of the conference itself has been civil. I'm admittedly impressed by how smoothly things are going. The conference continues to go well. That will at least alleviate some of the stress on the prince's shoulders. Is everything okay, Major Vander? You seem to have a lot on your mind. Suppose you could say that. In a sense, we've only come this far because of the seeds he chose to sow. But never mind that. What matters most right now is our duties at the conference. I have a role to play as the prince's escort. Just as I'm sure you all have your own, keeping the conference secure. Right, that much is for certain. And then everyone else is on the 34th floor. Let's see. Good to see you, SSS. Hey, if it ain't Lloyd and Company. Feels like we've been waiting forever for this trade conference to kick off, doesn't it? It's the main event of all main events. Crossbell's leadership and representatives from 4 nearby countries in a bonanza of international discourse. And of course, a big to-do like this demands a primetime venue, Orcus Tower, the continent's first true skyscraper. Can you feel it? The nerves in the air? Ah, I'm so tense that my heart's about to jump out of my chest. I definitely see the tension, but also you don't look the least bit nervous to me. I suspect the nerves are coming less from her and more from her future prospective victims/interviewees. What? Tio, you're back! And you brought that trademark snark along with you too. I'll admit, I'm not so much anxious as I am giddy, but enough about that. There's someone I want to introduce you to. Meet Notisha. Notisha, this is the special... Her name's Notisha? Really? Oh, special sports section. Nice to meet you. I've seen you all in the papers before. You look like an even finer team in person. I'm Notisha, a reporter for the Liberal News. We just got cocked hard by the Liberal News. Fuck's sake. What was it? Neil or something? Who's the guy we were like, that Estelle and us made friends with, back in Sky? We just got caught. Keeping us all safe for the day. Happy to be of service. I've heard of the Liberal News Service. It's the largest publication in the kingdom. That's right. They've also been getting a lot of attention in the journalism world for another reason. 2 of their own reporters were awarded the Pulitzer Prize last year. The Pulitzer, isn't that the prize that Nielsen person won a few years back? It was given to the continent's most outstanding journalist every year, if I remember right. That's the one. And the latest recipient, Niall, are a duo by the names of Niall Burns and Dorothy Hyatt. Why are they not here? Niall's our ace reporter and Dorothy's a brilliant camera woman. So the kingdom took home the crown last year, huh? 2 guesses as to what the prize-winning story was. Could have been about the strange phenomenon that happened in Libero around that time. Right again. Though technically everything they covered leading up to the incident factored into the decision too. I see. They sound very impressive. Yeah, I guess so, but that doesn't mean we'll just lie down and let them outshine us. It's every reporter's dream to win the Pulitzer Prize at least once in their career. If you want to win the next one, then you'd better get the best scoop you can each and every day, especially this one. You got that, Reigns? We can't let any of these news hounds get the jump on us. Yes, ma'am. If Grace gets any more fired up, the orbital sprinkler system might go off. Let's hope she can behave herself at least. Couldn't make it. That's right. They're on assignment in Calvert, so they wouldn't have gotten here in time. Over there right now. I bet. It got something to do with those radical nationalists. It's got they're running around, right? Where does the Republican government making a move during the trade conference? Well, look at you. Guess that press pass of yours isn't just for show, is it? For the same, though there's no evidence of their involvement yet. It's a great smash to get info too. No sense worrying about how. We've got our own job to take care of. Yep. Gray's center room is Dudley, so this is Dudley. There you all are. Have you noticed anything amiss? No, not yet. The monitor over there gives you a security overview of the entire tower at once, right? Correct. We have access to every critical area of the building in real time. That includes the conference room, of course. Thankfully, this tower is equipped with the most advanced security system on the continent. Numerous locations are beginning to incorporate video surveillance, as I recall, from the IBC to orbital stores. I've never seen such a large quantity of them in one place, however. How many there are is only half of it. The fact this technology even exists is amazing on its own. I wouldn't be surprised to see them used to survey areas outside the city someday. The CGF's days might be numbered, Noel. I don't think it'll ever be that simple. How widespread they become is going to depend on the public's approval. Digressions aside, they're a more than welcome convenience for this assignment. Without any leads on the terrorist plans, all we can do is nip things in the bud the moment they strike, whether they're right before or just after. That's why we have to keep our eyes sharp. We can't afford to overlook even the tiniest detail. If you come across anything suspicious, be sure to report it at once. Understood. Bro, there's a million of them. Anyway, we got Dudley, left room. Giselle and Grant, whoever they are. Captain Grant, a pleasure to see you. Hey, Grant, working hard? Good day, Sergeant Major Seeker. You as well, Sergeant Orlando. I suppose neither one of you is technically part of the CGF at the moment. That's true, but my leave is only temporary. You can address me by whatever you find easiest. I don't really care either way. Are you two the only representatives from the CGF on this floor? Sergeant Major Giselle. That we are. It's out of consideration for the dignitaries and members of the press, you might say. Part of the CGF's orders for this assignment is to stay out of their sight and minimize exposure, hence the bare bones deployment. Sounds like the reasoning goes deeper than that. It does. Essentially, the decision is a way of tiptoeing around the two major powers. While the Guardian Force's weaponry is restricted by state law, it still functions the same as any other state military. We stay within budget, but a great deal of our funding goes towards maintaining and improving the arms we're allowed to have. Those expenditures would be an easy point of contention if they were out in the open during the conference. Out of sight and out of mind, in other words. Diplomacy can be one fickle mistress. All true, but I try not to think about it too much. Yeah. In the end, the both of us are only up here for appearance's sake. Still, there's an entire company of guardsmen one story below, ready to mobilize at a moment's notice. Should something happen, they'll be on this floor within seconds, rest assured. Good to know. Well, we count on you if it comes to that. There's a security guard we need to talk to as well. I am like 90% sure it's just this dude. The various for members of the press from each participant cutting, general policy forbids them from exiting while the conference is in session. Should all be accounted for in there. Feel free to enter if there's anything you need to confirm. Nope. Um. Let's have Vice Commissioner. Oh, I forgot to talk about Pierre. I'm on into himself already. I hope he's alright. I'm a little worried about him, to be honest. I can't believe that woman would... No, I'm sure of it this time. Who's he mumbling about? Excuse us, Vice Commissioner Pierre. He doesn't have a face! What? The special support section? Oh, joy. Well, can I help you? If I may ask, Vice Commissioner, what are you doing here? It's you can't just... Oh, nothing. Nothing except my job as director of the security command room. Oh, since when? You gotta think, I do recall seeing your name sprinkled around in some of our materials. See, I never read those. That's my confusion. You what? Here we go. I probably should have mentioned this to all of you sooner. Whoops. One question. If you're the head of security, why are you in here instead of the command room? Taking a little break? Please, Dudley has full authority while we're here on site. With my permission, of course. So see, there's no reason for me to be in the command room. Too many leaders spoil the group, as it were. Think about it however you like. As your superior, I know what is best for the operation. Yeah then, you six, just focus on not getting in Dudley's way. Yes, sir. Ask that what when you're referring to just now? I'm curious too. Is it someone we should be worrying about? Why would my wife be? I mean, mind your own business. It's got nothing to do with you. Now get back to work. Go on. Yes, sir. Understood. All of that was about his old lady? Perhaps the tight leash she has him on is beginning to chafe. Or whatever the case, I think he'd appreciate us keeping quiet about this. Yeah, I feel bad about it. I feel bad. Alright, that's one patrol down. Nothing unusual to report at the moment. Yep, so far so good. We might as well make another loop around. Good plan. You know, I can't help but wonder if the conference is going smoothly. Me too. I know the mayor and speaker are doing their best, but that's a tough room they've got in there. The Blood Iron Chancellor and President Rocksmith present the greatest challenge. Huh. Well, that's not something I know the answer to. The greatest challenge that they do. Want to ask someone out. It's been going during the intermission. The same day, 3:05 p.m. The trade conference finally reached its halfway point. Before the intermission officially began, the heads of state held a brief press conference for the media. No one's gonna ask Osborne shit. Meanwhile, Lloyd and the others took the opportunity to speak with Mr. Grimwood, who'd started his break ahead of the others. Alex explains that things being as precarious as they are, the SSS was asked to assist with the security detail. Exactly, I'm not sure how much of a difference we really make in the grand scheme, though. We may only be additional peace of mind. Don't sell yourself short, my friend. You're the team that thwarted an assassination attempt on our previous mayor. It's reassuring to have you all here. That's kind of you to say. Yeah, thanks for the vote of confidence. How's the conference going, Mr. Grimwood? Things appear to be proceeding smoothly thus far. That's a fair assessment. Talks are slow but steady for now. The participating nations have already agreed to several trade deals. Mayor Croy's efforts are truly beginning to pay off for all of us. Thank goodness. That puts my mind at ease. Slow but steady for now, you say. You think things may get rocky in the second half? Oh, bro, it's been an hour and we haven't even finished this. Oh? Is there something you're concerned about? I doubt I hold the jurisdiction to tell you this as an observer on the sidelines, but the focal point of the first half of the conference centered on proposals that affect such fields as trading and finance. The second half, on the other hand, will be reserved for proposals from each of the various heads of state. That is undoubtedly when the topic of Crossbell's defenses will be addressed. But if they do that, it'll only be a matter of time before foreign military presence enters the equation. What about the non-aggression pact? It's only been 2 years since it was signed. The Queen of Liberal did push the pact into being with Crossbell's best interest in mind, but technically 2 of the nations participating today never signed that pact, Remiferia and, well, Crossbell itself. In light of that, it's only inevitable that a new continental security framework will be discussed. Luckily so, my grandfather shares your concerns and expectations both. Rumfaria does not give a shit. I wish we had like a proper map of Zemuria. We're drafting up a new pact and having Crossville sign it this time not be the simple solution. It has to be. They could model the framework after the non-aggression pact and prohibit military force between all the nations. Oh. I get it. Crossville isn't technically a nation. The Empire Republic only recognized Crossville as an autonomous state. It's as you say, Crossville lacks the sovereignty to enter an international treaty. Economic arrangements alone are not grounds for the state to enter into a formal pact as its own entity. That fine line we tread is precisely what puts the state of Crossville in jeopardy. I'm sort of getting it, but this definitely isn't cut and dry. Excuse me, but I have something I'd like to ask. Crossville's not the only autonomous state on the continent. Limon, Orid, and North Ambria, for instance. Are those states also barred from entering into international treaties? No, they're not. It's true that each state has its own set of historical circumstances as to why they've remained states instead of forming nations. However, each has also been recognized by the major powers as independent with sovereignty of their own. So they have equal standing. Exactly, they're treated very differently than Crossville. Primarily because their sovereignty is recognized by the holy city of Arteria. The holy city of Arteria. As in the high seat of the Septine Church? Yes. As a city-state, Arteria's territory is small, but the church holds religious authority across the continent. Numerous autonomous states and free cities owe their establishment to the church's aid. Then you have Crossbow's autonomy was gifted to it by Erebonian and Calvard. That's how we're in the unique position of having two suzerain powers above us. And that has historically led to Crossbow being dragged into their conflicts time and time again. If Crossbow only had a modicum of sovereignty, we could work to improve the situation. With consent from both countries is what it will take for that to become a reality, then there's basically no hope. I wish I could disagree. Yeah! But that way, it does seem bleak. Getting back to the topic at hand, I would expect the Chancellor and President to have their ideas regarding Crossbow security. Naturally, each country's terms for their respective proposals differ vastly. Speaker and May will have to be wary of what we stand to gain or lose. For fuck's sake. Apologies, my young friends. I'm sure you already have enough on your minds. Remember that Speaker McDowell is no stranger to matters such as these. And I get the sense Mayor Croy still has some cards to play himself. You think he has a plan? And what could it be? I don't know the particulars myself. Nevertheless, it could very well... Sorry, I should take this. The special sport, Lloyd Banning speaking. Bannings, the press conference has concluded. The militaries are now headed to the 36th floor. Where are you? Oh, we're still in the break room on the 34th. Was there something you needed us to do? Yes, actually, we were contacted by both Chancellor Osborne and President Rocksmith. They each requested to speak with the SSS during the intermission. They what? Given who they are, I hope you understand we're in no position to turn them down. The SSS to visit the both of them during the intermission, and that's an order. The President is staying in the furthest room of the West Wing, while the Chancellor is in the furthest of the East. Hold on a second. I get that we can't refuse, but why ask for us? This is a lot of pressure, Dudley. Don't be such a child, Bennings. This is the next opportunity to get some insight on what each side is after. You're right. Okay, we'll head there right away. Lean on McDowell if the going gets rough. She's the one on your team best suited to handling the situations. Report to me once you're finished. Understood. What was that about, Lloyd? You were getting real riled up there. What's going on, bud? Brace yourselves. Excuse me? You're joking. Not that I can discern. He seems entirely serious. This is certainly a surprise. The Special Sports Section's name is more well known than I thought. I don't know about that. I suspect it's because we're familiar with several members of their personnel. That's the only reason for their interest in us that I can think of. You might be onto something there. Regardless of the reason, there's no way we could possibly decline. Don't I know it? Let's head up to the 36th floor. Dudley said the rooms are on the furthest ends of the east and west wings. We don't want to keep them waiting. Roger. Yes, sir. Please give me control. Okay, I'm gonna be right back. We're back. Anyway. We're supposed to go to the 36th floor, right? How many times must I tell you the press isn't allowed past here? It's still a mission though, right? Can't you just, you know, look the other way? Bros, we only want to take a few photos. They won't even know we're there. That's right. I can't go back to Grace empty-handed. Please let us through. Persistent as ever. Good luck trying to tell a reporter where they can and can't go. Well, as long as no one is trying to physically force their way through, they're not breaking any rules. I guess so. This is just all part of being a member of the press, right? Either way, we may as well give up any hope of using the elevator right now. Is that Arios and Kilika? I believe so. What could they be talking about? Nearly a year has gone by since you left the guild. Are you adjusting well to your new job? More or less, though the workload is so much heavier it doesn't even begin to compare. So I imagine. And how has Shizuku been? As cheerful as ever, though sometimes I feel as though she's a bit too accommodating for a child her age. She was recently blessed with a wonderful friend as well. I've noticed that she smiles more often since then. It's good to hear. It's already been half a decade since Saya's passing, hasn't it? Not to mention 6 years since our first meeting. That's right, 6 years. You were wandering the continent when you came across Saya in Crosswell City by chance. Because remember it, she insisted you stay with our family while you were in town, no matter how much you tried to refuse. Imagine my surprise when I saw you working for the Bracer Guild in Libero 3 years later. The goddess works in mysterious ways. You never quite know what threads will end up tying people together. I'll never forget the hospitality the two of you showed me back then. My only regret is that I was unable to return the favor to her. There's no need to dwell. The fact that you remember it to this day would be more than enough for Saya. It sounds like those two knew each other before they met through the guild. Evidently so, but I feel like I would be rude to listen in any further. I agree. We should leave before we interrupt them. I just remembered. Estelle and Joshua wanted to see you when you came earlier in the year. They're disappointed to miss you when they heard you and Lynn had lunch together during the anniversary festival. Were they? It was my intention to give them the cold shoulder. If time had permitted, I would have been more than happy to do a little catching up. That being said, I had heard plenty about their achievements while they were here in Crossbow. It's amazing to think those are the same two rookies who came through the doors of the Zeiss branch 2 years ago. Indeed, they were invaluable to us during their stay. I should have expected as much from a pair that was raised by Cassius. I look forward to seeing how they continue to grow. That's right, Kilika used to be a Bracer Guild receptionist in Libero. Since that she knows Estelle and Joshua. It's a small world, as they say. People often have fewer degrees of separation between them than you'd expect. How many events can I trigger? Bro, how many events can I trigger? I've heard that you've been keeping in contact with Zen. You could say that, though we rarely get the chance to meet anymore, our positions being what they are. That's enough eavesdropping for the day. We should move along. Nah, more eavesdropping! Okay, no, that's it. Okay, that's the end of the eavesdropping. Oh, can I go into this room? We want to talk to Toa. Hello, Angie? Yeah, we're in the middle of an intermission. Oh, that's right. Class 4 is at Agralia Fortress right now. I'm a little worried about what the Imperial Liberation Front is up to, but they should be fine as long as Crow's with them. I'll keep an eye out over on my end, so you guys be sure to do the same. Oh, that's not like any orbit I've ever seen before. It must have been co-developed by the Foundation of the Rhineford Company. Whatever it is that girl was talking about, though, she seemed pretty on top of it all. Not just anyone can do that sort of thing. Huh? You love me? Angie, this is a serious situation here. I'll keep an eye out over on my end, so you guys be sure to do this. Oh my god, that is hilarious. Okay. I completely forgot about our friends' proclivities. Oh boy. There we go. That's funny. Huh? Ah, since the elevators arrived. How about that, please, after you. Okay, you go on ahead. It's quite alright, I promise you, I'm in no particular hurry. No, I insist, you were here first. What's up, Lloyd? Take a look at those two soldiers by the elevator. They appear to be trying to compromise on who rides the elevator first. This is kind of painful to watch. Look at them go, like an awkward couple on a first date to the anniversary festival, yeah? We can forego use the elevator for now, if only to spare us the emotional turmoil. Yeah, good call. Oh, for fuck's sake. I just want to use the elevator. Man's legs must be... Oh, for fuck's sake. That's... I see. And that's when you ran into Lucy. Yep. I was only running ferry on business, too. Guess she caught wind. Tried to run, but she caught me. Eesh, I must be losing my touch. Can you even guess how many bonks over the head she gave me? Not a one. She hugged you instead with tears in her eyes, didn't she? Dang it! Get read like a book, Lecter! I can tell exactly how Lucy feels, you know. She's probably well aware of just how dangerous your day-to-day is. I'm sure she's been worried sick. Man, a woman's intuition is no joke. Makes my spine tingle. I never do know how to handle them. Maybe, but you brought it upon yourself. This really does take me back. It's been so long since I've seen Leo, too. I'd love for all of us to have a reunion. Why the long face, Lecter? Isn't this the part where you say, yeah, let's all have a bash of mission party till we drop? Not a bad impression. No promises, but I'll see what I can do. Just don't hold your breath, alright? I know, but you won't be able to stop me from looking forward to it anyway. Now then, I should be going if you please excuse me. No problem. Hey, don't forget to say hi to Sieg for me. I still love him, that's so lovely. Damn, she's really coming to her own. Libero couldn't ask for a better crown princess. You guys think so too, right? Busted. We weren't even trying to be sneaky, though. Sorry, we didn't mean to eavesdrop. We didn't hear much, I assure you. Didn't you, Ellie? You seemed very interested in the relationship from where I was standing. Tio! Well, she ain't the only one. You and the princess sure seem close. What's the story there? I was her upperclassman back in school. Prep, I mean, not Sunday school. Janus Royal Academy, to be specific. Janus Royal Academy. That's one of Libero's more prestigious institutions, isn't it? That's right. It's not unheard of for them to accept students from abroad, but... Did you study there on taxpayers' money? Nah, old man Gilliath paid my tuition out of pocket. Well, it's about time I hit the old dusty trail myself. That reminds me, you got called in to talk with the head honchos, right? They're both real pains in the ass to deal with, so good luck in there. What? The head honchos. Could he be any more sketchy if he tried? I would have thought the next Queen of Libero went to school with an Imperial spy. Truth is stranger than fiction, as they say. Whatever the case, we can't forget that he's a subordinate of the Blood and Iron Chancellor. Yeah! He's an Ironblood. As for what he's after, personally, I think we'll have to figure that out for ourselves, yeah. Okay. We could talk to Claudia, Julia, and Mueller on this floor. No. Hey! May I ask you a question, see? How do you suppose grandmother would have handled this if she'd been the one to come? No point. Suppose I can't help being the way I am. Oh, hello, SSS. Sorry for interrupting, Your Highness. It's nothing to concern yourselves over. I was merely thinking out loud, to be honest. I'm glad you came to visit. Your Highness, are you also concerned over what may happen during the second half of the conference? Partially, yes, but I was actually reflecting on something a tad broader. As Crown Princess, I have a fair bit of knowledge when it comes to diplomatic negotiations. But to be a good negotiator takes many skills. Insight, judgment, and objectivity, for instance. Wow, that is a word. The first half of the conference made me painfully aware that I still have room for growth in those particular areas. So that's what's bothering you. Give yourself some credit. Knowing where you can improve is half the battle. That's right, and you're still only as old as Lloyd, Ellie, and myself, Your Highness. You're an inspiration, if you ask me. It's very kind of you to say. Still, being timid in a room like that is unavoidable at this stage of my career. But though the content's troubles wait for no one, I nevertheless have to learn at my own pace and take everything in stride. That's a good approach. Just don't forget to cut loose and relax every now and then. Like now, for example, you only get one intermission. It'd be a shame to waste it. Wazi, I swear to Adios, if you're thinking of inviting her out for a drink or worse. It's alright, I was never one for excessive formalities. The lack of it is quite relaxing, actually. Now that I think about it, perhaps nostalgic is a better word. When I'm around all of you, I feel as if I'm speaking with Estelle, Joshua, and the rest of our friends. I'm not sure we can really compare, Your Highness. Well, I'd have to disagree with you on that. Ah yes, would any of you care for some tea? Lloyd being... No, we couldn't possibly. As much as I would love to, we have somewhere else we need to be. My apologies, I should have anticipated that. I won't keep you any longer. Please be careful today. Everyone, I wish you all the best. And rest assured that I'll be giving my very utmost during the second half of the conference. I will be rooting for you, Your Highness. Yeah! Go, Claudia! Honestly, you're the best one out of everyone. In the back of the West Wing. We need to visit him before meeting the Chancellor. Okay. We've been expecting you. You're the Crossbow Police Department Special Sports Section, correct? We are. Is this the President's room? Yes, I've been instructed to let you pass. Please make your way inside. Thank you. Pardon us. You can't believe we're about to meet the President of one of the two largest nations on the continent. You said it, even I've got butterflies in my stomach. I don't. I got a kangaroo in mine. Excuse us, Mr. President. We were told you requested to meet with the Special Sports Section. Ah, thank you all for coming. But please, no need for all the pomp and circumstance. Go ahead and have a seat. Oh, sure. That's very kind of you, Mr. President. My invitation must have come as quite a shock to you. Truly appreciate you taking the time out of your own busy agendas for this. Though I imagine you must be very busy yourselves. Oh, no, not at all. It's an honor just to be in your presence. You're Speaker McDowell's granddaughter, isn't that right? Met once before at a celebration of some sort, if I recall correctly. That's right, we first spoke back when I had the opportunity to visit Calvert with my grandfather. That was 2 years back. Ah yes, now I remember. You know, I was surprised to hear your grandfather chose to take up the position of Speaker instead of seeking re-election. I truly admire how passionate he still is at his age. He's a model statesman, if I may say so. I'm sure my grandfather would be flattered to hear that. Not to change the subject, Mr. President, but what was he called us here for? Well, truth be told, I've already heard all about you SSS fellows from Killica. This year's Schwarz auction sounded like quite the affair, wouldn't you say? Frankly, former Speaker Hartman and I were never on the best of terms. Selfish as it may seem, I've been eager to meet the group that tipped the first dominoes that led to his downfall. We're on to, sir. Yeah, but real talk, we didn't do much. Guy just couldn't stop shooting himself in the foot. Very true, he made his own bed the day he became involved with the cult. Ah yes, who could forget them? The DG cult. Their treachery spread across the entire continent, but no nation was more affected than my own. I owe you my thanks for putting a stop to them once and for all. You're welcome, but really, we were only doing our jobs. Honestly, I'd say our contributions didn't really amount to much in the long run. No need to be so humble, my boy. Our things were rather dire, even your guardian force was being manipulated. In the face of it all, you still managed to quash the cult and keep that little girl safe. Great gods in the sky, those are no small achievements to speak of. Wow, you flatter us, Mr. President. Surely I'm not sure we deserve such high praise. Oh, but you do. Had Crosswell fallen to the cult, I don't know what would have become of us. Those dastardly villains took hold of the IVC. International trade and finance would have come to a screeching halt. And I'm sure you don't need me to tell you how severe the consequences of that would be for our economy. That's true. All the more reason I'd like to acknowledge your valor. I think the fitting thing to do would be to award you each a medal. Yes, that sounds perfect. I'll have the arrangements made as soon as I return to the public. No, you don't have to do that. Is it even appropriate for citizens of Crossbow to receive awards from the Republican government? Besides, we already got more recognition than I could handle from Granddad McDowell. Truly, I don't see any faux pas to be had about it at all. Your troubles are our own as well, after all. The Republic does hold suzerainty over Crossbow. Mr. President. Now, keep your faces like that, and they'll stay that way. You received an invitation from our friend the Blood and Iron Chancellor too, did you not? I'd be delighted to speak with you all more, but I think my turn is over. And not to fear, I'll see to it that you receive those awards we spoke of. Keep an eye out for them, all of you. Holy shit, he just dropped that ball. Thank you for visiting. You can find Chancellor's room at the end of the opposite wing. Right, thanks. We appreciate your help. You're welcome. Farewell. Can I go back in? You know, something wasn't exactly what I'd expect from a major political figure. Capable and devilishly cunning. Could you at least wait until we're not standing in front of his room, was he? To be fair, the president never made much of an effort to hide it. I doubt he was intentionally trying to place pressure on us, but that doesn't change the fact that he did. He was trying to keep up appearances more than anything. As Calvert's president, it would be good publicity to honor the ones who were credited with resolving the cult incident. Not to mention, he said that Crossbill's troubles are theirs as well, which reaffirms that he sees Calvert as Crossbill's rightful owners. Yeah, that's a thing. Man, you telling me that was the whole reason he called us in there? These big shot leaders got egos as wide as their country's borders. Without a doubt, even Diet members from an autonomous state like this have nothing on them. We still have to speak with the Chancellor. What do you think he wants from us? Couldn't say, but we're probably going to want to brace ourselves either way. Yeah. Oh, the Duke. We're done deliberating for now, but I'm absolutely exhausted after facing both Osborne and Rocksmith at once. Oh, now, don't sell yourself short, your lordship. You've grown quite capable of commanding the room when needed. Say your predecessors would be proud of the way you handled yourself in there. It's been 5 years since I ascended to the throne. In affairs, domestic order has finally been secured, but much learned as a statesman. Ah, look who it is. Thank you again for all your help yesterday. Good afternoon, Special Sports Section. Pardon our interruption. Did hear about your being added to today's security detail. We appreciate your service. It's my understanding that you want to even save Speaker McDowell's life. It would seem we're in good hands. Ah, fuck me. Think me of expecting a little too much from us. Not at all. I too find your presence here most reassuring. We'll need that peace of mind to properly navigate the second half of the conference. About that, do you expect the upcoming discussions to become problematic, Grandfather? I do. Unlike the first half, I suspect the faults of Crossbell's state will be thrust into the spotlight one after another. To which the major powers will no doubt be as demanding as they've ever been. However, I'm also concerned about Dieter. During our latest diet session, he was rather enthusiastic about introducing some truly radical ideas. Such drive comes with youth, and I do respect that. However, I worry about what direction it might take us today. Ow! Jeez. I hadn't thought about it that way. Mr. Grimwood alluded to Mayor Croy having some kind of plan for the last half of the conference. Can't profess to know the details myself, but I'm certain he'll bring it to the table sooner or later. And whether it turns out for good or for ill depends entirely on how the conference proceeds. Isn't that right, Speaker? Precisely. As Speaker, it's imperative that I lend my utmost support to Mayor Croy during the trade conference. It's no simple duty to be sure, but I'll do what I can to fulfill it. Of course, best of luck, Grandfather. Yikes. Now let's see, we got Julia and Mueller. Wait. Where the flying fuck is Julia? Huh. Oh, there she is. Ah, good to see you again, SSS. Do you have a status update to make? Nothing to report for now. What about the two of you? Have you learned anything? Fortunately not. Things have been quiet thus far. We're exhausting every avenue on the Airbornian side of things as well. But unfortunately, neither the nobles nor the reformists are intent on giving us any leads to work with. That's unfortunate. A big goose egg from both Imperial factions. Then, huh? They seem like real peaches to deal with. Yesterday, Prince Oliver mentioned the possibility of creating a third faction, didn't he? It's been on my mind ever since. If you wouldn't mind, Major, Could you tell me more about his intentions? Ellie. Well, it's only natural to be curious. I'm not supposed to say much, but I don't think there will be any harm in sharing a bit with the SSS. To put it metaphorically, you could say the prince is attempting to shatter some long-standing barriers. Barriers, huh? That's something we're all too familiar with. Basically, there are irreconcilable differences between the noble and reformist factions. That won't stop him. He aims to have the two come to terms anyway, as absurd as that sounds. The prince is trying to get the reformist and noble factions to reconcile. I underestimated his starry-eyed idealism. Isn't the divide between the two sides as wide as Gorelia Canyon itself? Wazzy, don't be so rude. He's absolutely right. Still, the prince has committed himself to dancing toe-to-toe with a monster despite how ludicrous it may appear. He's fully aware of what people call him behind his back. A showy, debaucherous bastard prince whose only concern is his leisurely wants. Let them talk. I've decided to stand by him regardless. I see. That's very admirable. The prince will always have an eye on Libero, Major Mueller, just as Princess Claudia has stated. We may not always be able to intervene directly, but we'll assist you both in any way we can. Yeah, we'll just send Estelle and Joshua and Ren, you know. Get that Black Fang and Angel of Slaughter combat in. Thank you, Senior Captain. I'm truly grateful. The prince must truly be loved to have so many valuable allies. I don't know if I'd go that far, but there's no question that he has a certain effect on people. Still, the best thing that could happen today would be the trade conference ending without incident. That is the objective. We'll be counting on you if the situation calls for it, special support section. That must be the Chancellor's room. The intermission will likely be over by the time we're done speaking with him. We should take care of anything else we need to do beforehand. Thank you, Lloyd. I'll be right back. Hello, hello, hello. You're the SSS, correct? From the Crossbow Police? His Excellency is expecting you inside. Don't keep him waiting. Right. Pardon us. He practically exudes arrogance. Yeah! Classic Imperial Army overbearing as all Gehenna. Maybe not in front of the dude. Excuse us, Chancellor Osborne. Received word that you wish to speak with the special sports section? And do come in. Man's imposing as hell, even in chibi form. Jeez. Magnificent view, isn't it? It's fascinating to think that mankind built a structure like this to look down on the world below. These walls in which we stand are proof that we finally attained the glory the ancient civilization once held. So they are. Referring to the ancient Zemurians from over 1200 years ago. Everything I've heard about them makes it sound like they more or less had magic at their fingertips. Theirs wasn't necessarily utopia, mind you. During last year's Libero incident, a large floating city appeared over the kingdom. That city was constructed before the Great Collapse, yet was sealed away by human hands. It was a symbol of mankind's potential, as well as its hubris. Our potential and hubris? You seem to be very well informed, be a very well informed man. Oh, I wouldn't say I know everything. As far as Crossbell's concerned, I haven't discovered nearly as much as that priest, Joachim Gunther, did. How do you... It's what we don't know that lends weight to the affairs of the world. If you had everything in the palm of your hand, life as we live it would be helplessly mundane. Don't you agree, Wazi Hemisphere? Oh, so you know of me. Or do you? I get the sense my name is the only dirty little secret of mine you've uncovered. That would simply mean that you have none worthy of capturing my attention. No, my interests lie far more in the realm of the war god. More specifically, his successor. Yeah? The Imperial Intelligence Division. Their ability to gather information is second to none. Where are my manners? I am Gilead Osborne, representative of the Empire of Erebonia. I've heard much about you from Lecter. Care to join me for a friendly chat before the intermission ends? Do we have a choice? Well then, Chancellor, what is it you wanted to discuss with us? You already seem all too aware of everything that's happening right now. No need to overthink it. This is nothing more than a civil conversation. There's something I'd like to hear your opinions on, however. Our opinions? Yes, I'll be frank. How long do you think your precious crossbow will last? Bit of a loaded question, isn't it? On the contrary, I bear no ill intentions. History tells us that no political enemy can last in perpetuity. So, I mean, yeah, this is true. Eventually, crossbow will go the way of history. And that's discounting the overall evolution, which has accelerated all aspects of the contemporary world. How much longer can a land as contested as crossbow withstand the coming turbulence of this era? I'm not sure. Forever. As long as there are citizens of the state who have the will to protect it. Noel. True, little matters more than having a solid will, a resolve, one might say. There are instances in time when trends are bucked and the course of history itself is changed. The people are never truly powerless. I don't doubt the potential their resolve can hold. Then you agree. But consider this. What happens when two opposing resolves clash? It's simple. The lesser of the two would be engulfed, fanning the flames of upheaval hotter still. Let's suppose these hellborn fires were to emerge again and again across the land. The integrity of morality itself would be smelted in the searing heat until the world itself was ablaze. Such a phenomenon would surely be easy for you to imagine, would it not? Yeah. Ooh. I can understand how Crossbow's resolve might seem lesser compared to that of the Republic or the Empire or the Republic, but even a small flame is capable of burning bright. It's not a foregone conclusion that the larger will engulf it. Just as it wasn't when Libero repelled the Imperial Army. Oh, get wrecked! Ah, that's right, it was 12 years ago during the 100 Days of War. Well played. Resolve was ultimately a question of tenacity. Libero was small, but tenacious. It overcame the shambolic effort the Empire put forward. There's much Crossbow could stand to glean from that moment in time. However, I remain unconvinced that Crossbellians hold the same pride and conviction that the people of Libero do. I'll leave things at that. Our intermission is coming to a close. It almost slipped my mind. Don't expect any medals from the Imperial government. The nobility grows even more irksome when awards are given to commoners. Ouch. So he wants to, but can't because the nobility are a bunch of pricks. Consider yourselves fortunate. I rarely see His Excellency in such an agreeable mood. What? Seriously? Is that what you call it? He seems to have taken a liking to you. I understand that it may be a tough pill to swallow, but I suggest you accept what he had to say. Though perhaps it isn't my place to tell you that, given my position. Yeah, that was horrible. The man's a damned monster. Either way, we can't let it get to us. We have to take his perspective at face value. He's not a monster, Randy, you little prick. He knows more than you do. Is all we can say at the moment. ATO, you okay? Yes, I'll be fine. The imagery he invoked was a little too vivid. I got lightheaded was all. I can't blame you. Even I could feel those flames he kept talking about breathing down my neck. Yeah, same. I'm calling the Blood and Iron Chancellor a monster, putting things lightly. He believes he holds the whole of Crossbell in the palm of his hand. Maybe, but I'm not so sure he called us here to torment us, believe it or not. The same goes for President Rocksmith. I think the interest they've taken in us is genuine, for better or worse. Let's just take it for what it's been, a learning experience. That's one way to look at it. I think we could all take a page out of your book once in a while. No kidding, leave it to Lloyd to make a near-empty glass half full. But he's right. There's no way we can let this slow us down. Of course not. What we should do is have it propel us forward. Instead is have it propel us forward. In any case, that just about used up the rest of the intermission. Let's head back to the report and how both of our meetings went. Just as Mr. Grimmer, the discourse became more turbulent in the second half of the conference. Chancellor Osborne, President Rocksmith continued his question after biting question, each one aimed at Crossbell's security and future. As the conversation wore on, the looks on Mayor Croy and Speaker McDowell's faces became even more sullen and stern. Is this where Mayor Croy just drops the hammer? The heart of the problem is that a lone cult was able to cause so much public disorder in a single night, Lolas. Moreover, half of Crossbell's State Guard fell under their control, quite literally at that. Such a failure of security is unprecedented. I mean, I would like to see you do better. Apparently, okay, so one of my friends just made it. Apparently Hassan watched one of his videos. Let's go. One of my friends is famous now. Be that as it may, I was under the impression that we had already covered this in full detail. The detail is not what is in question. It is the quality of your state's crisis management that so concerns us. You cannot deny the extent to which that incident endangered the lives and property of Imperial citizens in your borders. What do you have to say to that? Get out of our borders! Now hold on just a moment, Chancellor. Reparations and redresses in the wake of the call incident have already been administered. Demanding further mere on top of that will only serve to cast Airbonia in a most unfavorable light. Monetary compensation is not the issue either, Your Highness. The Crossbell State government has still yet to answer how it can comprehensively guarantee its security. There is a need to protect the lives, property, and economic interests of all those in and tied to Crossbell. Can such protection truly be assured from a state constantly mired in political gridlock? A state so susceptible to top-down corruption. How about get out of our borders? Meh. Pardon me, but I'd heard former Speaker Hartman was immediately removed from office upon his corruption coming to light. Crossbell's political system has proven perfectly capable of self-correction. Would a new security framework not suffice? I must disagree, Your Lordship. Surely you don't believe it would be that easy. Crossbell's political foundation is prone to corruption by nature. I of course acknowledge that Mayor Croy and Speaker McDowell have been nothing less than outstanding statesmen. But what will happen to Crossbell when they're gone? How quickly would things regress without their leadership? I apologize for my cynicism here, but corruption and government have long been inalienable. This is true not only of Crossbell, but of my own kingdom as well. Taking that into consideration, would it not be best for us to observe whether the Speaker and Mayor can bring about political reform during their terms? Pardon me for saying so, Your Highness, but I believe that is rather naive of you. I can understand why you would be hopeful. However, the state of Crossville cannot be so easily compared to a monarchy such as Liberal. Undermining the political system of a land that has no central traditional authority is a simple feat. History has proven that time and again. That may be true, but if I may, my native Calvert is founded upon our honorable republic charter in lieu of a monarchy. It was an impressive undertaking by various powers and groups that gathered after our revolution 100 years ago. With that charter in place, our country knows our system can survive with dignity, even if it too may at times be stricken with corruption. So you say, but it is not as though our autonomous state law isn't without its own pride and honor. We concede that in our state's young history, imperfections in its design have come to light. But so too is it indisputable that we have been improving upon it slowly but surely. Mr. Grimwood, may I ask how many additional laws amendments have been passed by Crossbill's government in the last 10 years? Well, of course, while I don't have the exact figure in front of me, I'd estimate 50 in total. Only 50 in 10 years? Why, how can that be? That's an average of just 5 a year. Perhaps, though the rate has been trending upward in recent times. There were 12 laws passed last year, if I'm not mistaken. Yes, though admittedly many of those were merely addendums to existing financial Orbital network provisions. Regardless, I think it's clear that we cannot assume a meaningful new security framework would be so promptly implemented. As I suspected, it would be wiser to seek alternative solutions in the interim. I agree wholeheartedly. So... My, I hadn't realized the two of you had become such close bedfellows. Perhaps you care to settle the territorial dispute over in the Nord Highlands as well while you're at it. Point well taken, Your Highness. We'll have to leave discussing that matter for another day. Today's Thursday, right? Yeah. My watch and phone say Thursday. Weird. LTT hasn't uploaded a video yet. Oh, noes. Time is growing short, gentlemen. I advise we move on to another point of discussion. Very well then. As proposed by His Excellency, let us now review. Good. I don't have to hear more. This is bad. It's exactly what Mr. Grimwood warned us would happen. The Bloodhound Chancellor and President Rocksmith are going knives out on Crossbow as we speak. Is there nothing the mayor or speaker can say in objection? Sure they can. If they want to get crushed like a bug. Unfortunately, Crossbow can't become its own nation until Reverie, at least. Is there nothing the mayor or speaker can say in objection? Fortunately, it's as they stated, Crossbellian state law has more than a few structural flaws. That's what makes it so difficult for my grandfather and Uncle Dieter to deny what they're saying. Maybe, but the major powers themselves are the ones who built those flaws into Crossbell during its founding 7 years ago. They have the right to use that against us to force their own agenda. They scripted things to go down like this from the very beginning. As I've told you before, the discourse of the conference itself has nothing to do with us. Keep your heads on straight and see to it that we make it through the rest of the day. Right, sorry about that. Should we get another patrol in that case? First Division, this is Dudley. Emma has something... What? What's going on? There must have been an incident. The Red Constellation and Hayway are both on the move. They've already shaken off our surveillance. No way. Are you serious? Settle down, it's nothing we weren't prepared for. Stay alert, I'll keep you posted if there are any further developments. Understood. Yes, that's right. We should begin mobilizing our officers in reserve, blah blah blah. Damn, so this is really gonna go down, huh? What the hell are they planning? Randy. Try to keep your cool, Randy. We know the Red Constellation wouldn't try to pull something here at the conference. Right, the brunt of the police force is protecting the entrance of the building. You don't suppose they're about to pick a fight with each other now, of all times, do you? Everything we've managed to figure out so far says that's unlikely. I beg your pardon? What's going on down there? Grandfather? Your Excellency, might I ask you to repeat yourself? Praying with every fiber of my being that I simply misheard you. I'll gladly say it as many times as you require. Disband the Crossbell Guardian Force. Then in its place, station security forces from abroad permanently within the state. That is the most logical course of action. Is the CGF still around in CS 3 and 4? Please wait a moment. Surely you aren't forgetting the terms of the Non-Aggression Pact, Chancellor Osborne. Perish the thought. We agreed not to use force to solve disputes in or over Crossbell. This, however, is not an attempt at invasion. Merely state the obvious. A useless pseudo-military that loses control and threatens its own people's lives is better off dissolved. Bro, that is like the sheerest of technicalities. Fuck you. Like, I know why, but wow. In practice, the Crossbell Guardian Force is inconsequential when placed before the Imperial or even Republican armies. The CGF's armored cars may as well be made of paper compared to a true tank. Say nothing of the drain on Crossbell and Mira they cost to maintain. Leave matters of state security of foreign military forces. That is the best and most cost-efficient solution for a mere autonomous territory. Wow. I would consider that far too radical an option. And just how would you propose these foreign military forces be designated? Do you, the Chancellor of Erebonian, plan on nominating the Imperial Army? That'd be rather tone deaf, historically speaking. I don't recall saying anything of the sort, but now that you bring it up, I am willing to forgive Crossbell's past transgressions and offer the Imperial Army's aid if necessary. It's a small price to pay for the sake of peace in Western Zemuria, wouldn't you say? Yeah. Settle down, everyone. There's no reason to get so worked up. I agree the Chancellor's proposal is a bit, shall we say, drastic. Do, however, shares opinion that CGF leaves much to be desired. It is wholly inadequate when it comes to state security. Oh, what would you propose then? This is only a suggestion, but I would advise a mass reduction of the Guardian Force's numbers to start. In exchange, Calvert can assume responsibility for Tangram Gate, while Erebonia does the same for Belgard Gate. That way, either army would be able to respond to emergencies statewide, whether they occur here in Crossbell City or otherwise. That's hardly an improvement, Mr. President. Even so, it is worth consideration. You're an impressive man, President Rocksmith. You managed to be an excellent statesman and leader, all while fending off staunch political opposition. Not compared to you, Chancellor. You're reforming an entire empire while suppressing the influence of disgruntled nobles. This can't be happening. I've heard enough. Might I remind you that there are more than 2 countries participating in this conference. Pardon me, Your Highness. The President and I may have gotten a bit sidetracked now that our discussion has progressed thus far. Would you mind giving us your opinions on the idea? Is this where they declare, like, independence and whatnot? This is terrible. Absurd is more like it. Takes some serious balls to spout any of this with a straight face. It's safe, but it's not as though their proposals don't have any basis. Still, I was hoping things wouldn't come to this. At this point, all we can do is hope the Speaker and Mayor can stand their ground. Yeah. Now, of all times, it could be Dudley. Banning's here. Hey, it's Sergey. Chief Sergey, what's going on? No time, I'll keep it short. Sonia just called me. The anti-aircraft radars installed near Tangram and Belgard were destroyed. The same ones being used to detect any potential invading ships in Crossbell and airspace. What? She suspects it was the work of the terrorists. I've already filled Dudley in. As for you guys, be careful and get ready. Roger that. What's wrong? Is it my uncle and the others? No, not them, it was... Please, everyone, may I have your attention? Is that Crow? Regarding your concerns over Crossbell's domestic security, I'd like to offer my own suggestion. Oh? I thought you'd been staying a little too quiet. Let's hear it. What do you propose? I was thinking. Everyone, get down! Bruh. What? Airships? Idiots preserve us. Is it the terrorists? How did they even get here? To be at ease, everyone, these windows are bulletproof tempered glass. But to be safe, I must urge that you all back away from the window. Just in case. Your Highness, are you alright? Yes, I'm fine. Those airships just now. One of them was a high-speed Rhineford model. Yes, I'm sure of it. The other was a Verne Company military gunship. Right, this aligns with the reports we received that one had been stolen. Is everyone alright? Yes, thank the goddess. But where did those fiends go? Good, you should be able to hear me now. Attention conference attendees, allow me to introduce ourselves. We are the Imperial Liberation Front. We represent the anti-immigration faction seeking to protect the traditions and sanctity of our beloved Calvert. I don't believe it. The two terrorist groups menacing the Empire and the Republic. Our causes have seen fit to form an alliance such that we may topple the respective blights that plague us. Prepare yourself, Blood and Iron Chancellor Gileath Osborne. President Rocksmith, today you meet your end. Protect the time-worn heritage of our Calvert from the despicables of the East. We will stop at nothing. This is preposterous. Unutterable. Yeah, but this ain't looking too good. Here they come. Isn't the door to the roof open? So they're working together. Oh no. It was what? C, S, and G, I think? Bro, why did they leave the door open? Looks like they're headed straight for us. Damn it, so this is what those blueprints were for. Whatever, mind that. Contact the CGF unit on standby and have them... What? Yeah, they're probably dead. What the? Why did it just close? What in the world is going on here? Not good, the button isn't responding. What in idiot's name is going on? Hey, how's a girl supposed to chase a headline like this, huh? Do something, Reigns. What do you expect me to do? Gasp. This is far from ideal. Orcus Tower's security system must be under their control. This is likely the work of the hacker from yesterday. Let's move, everyone. Head to the 35th floor. We have to protect the dignitaries. Roger that. Chances are the elevator's out. We're gonna have to head for the emergency stairs. That's out too. What? But it was open just a moment ago. Tio, can you work your magic? I'll do what I can. The girl's got a laptop. This is trickier than I expected. Something I can't handle. It opened. Tio comes in clutch yet again. Hard, the security lock on this gate wasn't particularly complex, though now that it's been breached, the security of the other exits will likely be heightened. May not be able to do this for all of them. Sounds like the security system has more than a few aces up its sleeve. Worry about that later, we've got to move. Bro, this is badass. Dudley? Now! Smoke out the Chancellor. BAM! You'll have to get through me first. The Divine Blade of Wind. Hold your ground. Attack in waves. We're here to help. You three, fall back. We're in your debt. Mueller Vander, a guardian of the Arnor family. And the Liberian Royal Guard. Doesn't matter. Take them down. Bro, this is badass. Look at that. Show us. I think we can leave that group to them. Oh, hey guys. Lecter. Oh, the dignitaries alright. Yeah, for now anyway. Save the talking for later. They're coming from behind too. What? Reinforcements. Something's coming this way. They have almost no HP. What are those? They're just like the ones we fought at the Mafia's hideout. Never mind that. Suppress them. Oh, we got a burst thingy. 20th, yeah, it's 2K. I need at least 200 on the green. So they have archaisms too. They likely came in from the roof. Are those things made by the society though? The terrorists could have acquired them from the black market, or perhaps... What's it matter? Look over there. The archaisms weren't the only ones stopped there in their tracks. Yeah, I don't recall anything overly bad. You're all monsters. There's no other choice. Engage plan B. A stun grenade. Get back. It's closed. Getting through by force would be a tall order. Everyone. I was wondering where you were. Nice job pushing them back with their tails between their legs. Maybe, but they're going to escape at this rate. Can you get it open, Tio? I don't know for sure, but I can try. It's like I feared. Security level has been increased to maximum protection. I'm unable to bypass it on a portable terminal, even if I use the Aeon system. Not good. Talk to me. Yes, we managed to hold out. Unfortunately, what? They're taking the elevator to the basement, right this second? To the basement. They didn't go back up to their airships on the roof? Stop and think about why they wouldn't. They could be trying to detonate orbital bombs they placed on board those ships. What? You might be right, if that's the case. They're aiming to bury the Chancellor President with the building itself. It's no surprise terrorists would go to such length. Those fools. Well, this is a pickle. There's no way around it. We have to get through this shutter, even if it's by brute force. Wait, we may not have to resort to that after all. What? Well, well, look who it is. You're the spitwad who trashed my place. Okay, for that, you'll rue the day you crossed Jonah Sacred. Feisty, aren't you? Freeze. Release the controls to the tower at once. Oh boy, I guess you've got me cornered. 5-5, this was just a little time killer anyway. I've had my fun. Good luck, boys and girls. Do your best to not bite the big one. What the? Ignore him. Focus on getting the tower back under control. Jonah, did he come back too? So it seems he must have taken today's flight from Lehman. Done. Now restoring tower control systems. You did it. Can we use the elevators too? Yes, I disengaged the locks. However, we have no control over the one the terrorists are using. In that case, I'll head to the roof. If anyone's to disarm the orbital bombs on board the ships, it'll have to be me. You can do that, Kilika? But of course, it's a skill any counterintelligence officer worth their weight would have. Isn't that right, Secretary Arundel? What do you say we split the work? Sure, might as well. Then allow me to accompany you there. There's a chance they may have left archaisms behind to protect the bombs. The rest of you should pursue the terrorists. You may still be able to catch them. Understood. Bannings, your group is coming with us. These are two cells of terrorists we're dealing with. We'll likely need to split up. Roger that. Aye, aye, sir. Sir, yes, sir. Anyway. Yes, right. Understood. We can make do with what we know. Good work, Jonah. I'll speak to you again later. What did Jonah have to say? He has a terrorist escape route. They fly into the geofront via Orcus Tower's foundation level. By foundation, you mean the basement of the tower, right? Must lead to who knows how many sections of the geofront. That won't stop us from capturing those fanatics. Refuse to let them get away, and so the name of the Crossbow Police Department any further. My sentiments exactly. I attended this international conference as a representative of the guild, and now they've assailed it, right before my eyes. As a bracer, I cannot let this stand. We're going to capture them, there's no doubt in my mind. But I'd probably be less nervous if it weren't for those bombs ticking away on the roof. I'm sure Kilika and Lacto will be able to handle it. After all, they have Senior Captain Schwartz and Major Vander there to back them up. Seriously, that's a real all-star bomb squad we got up there. We on the end are going a heck of a way down, aren't we? Yes, from floor 35 to B8. What do you know? The SSS is taking on Crossbow's underbelly for real now. Yeah, pretty much. Time is of the essence. We'll go on ahead. Don't fall behind. Ah. Jeez, you think they'd been waiting their whole lives for this moment? We should hurry along ourselves. Right. Okay. Let's see. This is not what I was expecting. Am I the only one who feels a little overwhelmed here? Curious, what exactly is this place? The main shaft of Orcus Tower, I believe. These chambers where the weight of the structure is distributed for optimal load-bearing support. I heard there was something like this inside the tower, but I never expected it to be so expansive. Yeah, it's impressive. Can we keep it moving now? Yeah, let's keep going south. Look here, there's only one explanation. Right, this is as far as the little collaboration took them. Dudley, Arios, what's going on? We have a problem. We're not just chasing one combined massive terrorist down here anymore. Oh no. You saying the group trying to off the Chancellor and the one aiming for the President split weights right here. There's no doubt in my mind. The Republican terrorists went to the C sector of the geofront. While the ones from the Empire have escaped to the D sector. How can you possibly tell? I get it, it's the footprints, isn't it? Exactly. They were in too much of a hurry to hide their tracks. In that case, we should split into two groups ourselves. If we don't make haste, one or both of them could manage to escape. Agreed, that would be the best course of action. McLean and I will follow the Calvardians into the C sector. As success, you pursue the Erebonian terrorists into the D sector. Wait, why divide our forces so unevenly? You would be outnumbered several times over with just the two of you. The C sector is home to a heat treatment plant. It's a difficult place to navigate for those unfamiliar with it. Conversely, the D sector is larger with the more open spaces. Your greater numbers will serve you better there. It makes enough sense to me. We're running out of time, Lloyd. I say we go with the plan. Fine then. Dudley, Arios, be careful there. Same to you. Our suspects are armed terrorists that are willing to give their lives for the cause. Do not let your guards down. Right! Roger. Okay, team, let's move out. Our mission is to catch the terrorists before they can escape the geofront. Right. They've got another thing coming if they think they're getting away. Tactics. No, it'd be status? Magic attack. Ether Buster, magic attack. Blast Storm. Didn't I have like a freeze one at one point? Anyway. I miss our car. Is this an underground parking lot? Yes, it was designed with the expectation that in the future cars will become more common in Crossbell. That part I get, but this place is so big, it could have its own mailing address. So many people do they think are going to be driving normal cars someday. Do I see it? That was just a doe-eyed excuse made up by the Diet members and officials who ordered this place to be built. That sounds more likely. It's very much the case, unfortunately. With its big garments fall from grace, construction has been halted. I'm not surprised. Either way, we clearly have a lot of ground to cover. Pursuing anybody in here won't be easy. Scanning. Human signatures detected. A group of 8 is on the move nearby. Really? Maybe it won't be so hard after all. Let's hurry. There. Everyone look. Not good. Bro, you can just jump down. What the? Who the hell are they? Pursuers. Damn, how'd they follow us? Crap. Oh, you wanna play? Whoa! They're armed. Noel, to your left. Crap. Move, we can't afford to stop. Who are those freaking rats? Ignore them, get those feet moving. They escaped. The ladies of the SSS sure aren't afraid to take action, are they? No time to lose, we have to pursue them. There's probably a way down to where they just went. Knowing how we're gonna let them get away now. Tis I, the box of Iron Chancellor. How long do you think your precious chest bell will last? Wait. Temporarily. Right, because if I check here, we got Area M, Area M, Area L, and Area M. Because hers is a line and then his is one. Wazi Hemisphere. I guess chests were important enough to invite to the trade conference, huh, Dieter? Fine, we'll be holding our own chests at Zumeria Trade Conference. Almost. I need 15 more for the final upgrade, I think. Still a treasure chest. Yeah. I'm really glad Princess Claudia got to speak with Lecter again. Maybe now she could finally have some closure. $170. Oh, swimming only. Okay, so then ride gear. That is so weird. But okay. Ballet. Apparently ballet is Rumfarian in this. Okay. Hey, yo. I'm very confused as to what the fuck is going on. Huh. I have no idea where we're at now. Tito Bob. Okay, I know where we're at. What was that? It sounded like an old one going off. It was just a bad hurry. And what do we have here? An underground freight line. That's right, I used to transport goods and cargo to Orcus Tower. Everyone look. The walkway. They're trying to shake us off their tail. We can't let them escape. Search for another route. Hey, guy Titanus, hold up. I do need to actually check that. 12, 4 and 4. Ooh. I don't know if we can get that. Anyway. Well, we can get it. Alright, now it's your turn to step inside. Shut the lid and wait until someone takes you out. Look. Can we not just jump? Nice, we looped around it. I'd imagine they think they've thrown us off the trail by now. That's good news for us. Now's our chance to catch up. Yeah. Oh! Okay, okay. I figured out where I got confused with the map. There's 2 events. That's scary. Bro, there are 2 boss fights. One of them is just kind of like meh, and then the other one is actually the boss fight. There they are. We finally managed to catch up with them. Blast it all. They must have defused the bombs on top of the tower. Those bastards! This is supposed to be our chance to kill that tyrant and blooded Iron Chancellor. We haven't stooped to cooperating with those Calvardians, and for what? Do not waver, comrades. Our allies are legion. With their and Dukain's backing, we cannot be stopped. Wow! Okay. Once we accept this, escape this place, another opportunity is sure to present itself. We will have our... Freeze! What? It's those little brats from earlier. How the hell? We blasted them away here into bits. Yeah, so we took a different route. Genius, right? It appeared that the data you provided wasn't quite as comprehensive as you thought it was. Shut your goddamn mouths. Just who in the hell are you? Crossbow Police Department Special Support Section. We're hereby placing you under arrest. on numerous charges, including terrorism, sabotage, attempted assassination, and attempted mass murder. They're the police? As if some worthless cops from a puny state like this could stop our cause. Watch your tone. Do you have any idea how many innocent lives you could have taken today? The only way you're getting out of here is in chains. See, those kinds of terrorists. Completely delusional. You can do whatever you want in the eyes of the goddess because you've convinced yourselves that what you're fighting for is just. Silence! You cross bounds have no right to look down on us. Your state tossed aside its pride and hoarded itself out for prosperity. Wow. Reasoning with them is useless. They have no remorse. Don't misunderstand. It is not our intention to disrupt the lives of others for the sake of our goals. However, should that dictator be allowed to continue leading our empire down his despotic path, there's no telling how many will suffer. For that reason, we'll grant no quarter to any who stand in the way of us taking the Chancellor's head. Don't bother trying to get through to these punks. Kick their asses and sort them out later. Wait, where's Lloyd? Oh, Lloyd is just out of range. For fuck's sake. So, no, how can this be? There's government dogs from Pissat Autonomous State of all things. I'll give you the prosperity Crossbows enjoyed for decades has come at a cost. But don't you think for a second that Crossbows have lost sight of their pride. The situation is far from ideal, but despite all the pressures that shackle us down, we still fight to claw our way over those barriers. Lloyd. Well said, Lloyd. It's hard to create, perhaps it's out of line to underestimate you. Could see that attempt to destroy the tower is going a step too far. Does that mean you surrender? No, we cannot fall here, not while the Blood and Iron Chancellor yet breathes. Look out! Everyone pull back. What the? Guided missiles. No. One of the CGF's armored cars. You bastards, how the hell did you get your hands on that? Wouldn't you like to know? We have more friends in high places than you can imagine. Let's see you strive to claw your way out of this one. We wasted enough time here, withdraw. Oh, we're just gonna get dropped right into the next one. Is everyone alright? Yes, surprisingly. I can still fight. Well, then your luck will match to decommission this rogue racer. Don't get too comfortable, this is one of the Force's most durable models. Be mindful of its anti-arch shielding. Keep your feet moving. If you can see an opening, take it. Arch defense down. One more attack. Oh, hey! Would you look at that? So you learn Mega Zero Cannon. Shield reach 3. 6. 6 and 3. Wait. 6 and 3. We needed 12, 4, 4, I believe. Speedbreaker. Ooh, fun sight. We did it. Quick, open the doors and pull out whoever's inside before they... That won't be necessary. I detect no vital signs. There never were any. It's fully automated to begin with. Wait, what? Are you freaking kidding me? The terrorists brought archaisms with them too. They weren't exaggerating about having friends in high places. There's no time to worry about that. We have to resume the pursuit or else they'll... Gunfire? What could be happening? Come on, we gotta move. Well, there's our second event. No. Damn it. Holy crap! The right constellation. Why would you... It's business. Contractual obligation. We've already sent your associate to destroy the anti-aircraft raiders up to ADOs too. Feel free to join them in our arms. How regrettable. Boom. Surely kill the one still cowering in the back there. Ooh, can I? Beep. That's funny. What's the matter? Don't worry, I'll give you a fair chance. Just you and me, one-on-one. Gasp. You lose. Thanks for play. Stop! Ain't no fun. I was getting to the best part. Young master. It took you long enough? Uncle, surely. What the hell are you all doing here? We're too late. They're already gone, every last one of them. What have you done? How could you just slaughter them like this? When you're listening, it's business. We'll kill the terrorists that were here to assassinate the Imperial Chancellor and the Empire's eldest prince. Because that is what the Imperial government hired us to do. You can't be serious. It's serious as a heart attack. I want to see our contract with the Imperial government. It's got a stamp on it and everything. You know what that means, don't you? Or off limits to you. No touchy. Surely. Why? It can't be. The Crossbill State Law, Article 19, Paragraph 3. At all times, the Crossbill State government shall recognize and defer to the executive authority of the Erebonian and Calvardian administrations. That's right. In other words, we were acting as proxies for the Imperial authorities. Official executioners with diplomatic immunity, I might add. Yikes. We applied this from the very beginning. Oh, cool. Why did you have to kill them? What reason could there possibly be? They were no threat to you. You could have just as easily disarmed them, couldn't you? So why did you? Pathetic. No, Randy. Randy! Are you okay, Randy? What part of the word execution do you have trouble understanding? You of all people should be no stranger to carnage of this caliber. If you want to blame someone, look in the mirror. Perhaps things would have ended differently had you done your jobs and caught them first. I doubt the Blood and Iron Chancellor minds your failure, though. He might just send a free basket for all the political leverage you've handed him. Yeah, that's a thing. No, how can we let this happen? As a show of good faith, we'll let this last little word and go. Surely release him. Oh man. Well, whatever. It's no fun when they give up this easily. Catch. Don't let him slip out your fingers again, Kate. Ah. We're done here. Let's pull out. Time to go cash in our checks. Tonight, we feast. Yeah! Later, guys. Excuse us, young master. See you around, Commander Randolph. I love how they're all just, like, really, like, respectful to Randy. You gotta be shitting me. All I wanted was to get away from all this. God damn it! Yeah. Geofront sea sector. Damn Hayway pests. Why the hell are they helping them? Zhao Li, those are wanted men. I don't care what authorization the Republican government has granted you. You've no right to take them into custody. Authorization or no, I can't simply ignore what Hayway's elders command of me. If that isn't a good enough answer for you, we take no issue with applying a healthy bit of force. I'm interested to see who would win in a match between the Divine Blade of Wind and my associate over here. The Eastern Quarter's legendary assassin. It's what it means. This meeting has been a long time coming in. I understand you excel in direct combat too. I would say we're at a disadvantage. Rest assured, our terrorist friends here are in good hands. They simply be utilized as examples to deter other radical Calvardian nationalists, an honor for any political dissident. Don't screw with us. Because of you Easterners, our glorious republic is... But... President Rocksmith, that sly dog is even craftier than I thought. Isn't he though? I find him to be something of a kindred spirit in that sense. I insist that he direct any and all objections you may have to his administration. Men, let us take our leave. Sir! It would be funny if the terrorists were like, no, don't let him. The same day, 6 p.m. Grace? The fuck are you doing? She's literally pushing the two soldiers back. That's hilarious. I see. Understood. Everyone here is safe and sound. There's no need to worry. What's the status of the terrorists? The Calvarian terrorists were apprehended by several employees of Hayway Trading Limited. It appears the Republican government granted them the authorization to do so. Pardon? Oh, splendid, splendid. They're friends of ours. Rest assured that we could vouch for their character. As for the airborne terrorists, I was told that the Red Constellation executed them on orders from the Imperial government. You can't be serious. Chancellor Osborne, what is the meaning of this? You might understand the Imperial government hired Jaegers on foreign soil for the purpose of carrying out a mass execution. You have the right of it, down to the very last word. Surely you know that there is no punishment more fitting than a swift death for daring to take aim at your life, Your Highness. This will serve as a suitable deterrent for the fools hiding in the background. You mean Crow? Who shoots you? Who snipes you? Ah. If Go, oh god! Apparently, Pokemon Go is gonna collapse. He's the one to talk. As troubling as this is, their actions still fall within the bounds of state law. That may be, but even so, this is far too great a breach of trust. Oh, you misunderstand, Speaker. More importantly, when you call today's incident a prime example of what the Chancellor and I were saying, surely you see now that the Crossbelt state government is incapable of managing a crisis such as this by itself. No, did the terrorists successfully infiltrate the venue of the trade conference? You and yours failed to stop them. If not for our preemptive safeguards, they would have evaded capture. You can consider this proof that the measure we put forward would work in practice. That's right. Forgive my brashness, but consider how close to the brink of death our lives were placed today. Can I just shoot them both? What better time than now to consider our proposal to station troops in Crossrail? I don't believe you two. This is borderline coercion. Then this was all intentional. Now I see your aims. A plan this low is despicable, even for you. If I could have your attention, everyone, we still have not concluded discussing the final matter on the agenda. I do believe the Chancellor and President's proposal with consideration. However, I'd first like to finish the statement I was going to make before we were interrupted by the attack. Leader? Oh? What do you wish to bring to the table? Action is not so much in motion to be discussed as it is a declaration of intent. If it's somewhat hesitant about this idea, but the events that transpired earlier were just the push my resolve needed. So please allow me to take this opportunity to advocate for one final proposal. What? We can no longer be swayed by the whims and desires of foreign powers. For the sake of lasting peace in the region, no, throughout the entire continent. I hereby propose to the citizenry and to all nations of Zemuria that Crossbell be recognized as an independent state. Sector Junction. My. Look who it is. Fancy meeting you guys here. The right constellation. The Scarlet Ogre and his daughter. We're at the ready, Lord Sigmund, sir. Relax, men. Neither one of us is in a position to do anything until we've taken care of our client's terms. It'd be unprofessional to jump the gun for a little fun, wouldn't it? Not my words, but I agree. This reminds me, I'd like to congratulate you on the successful reopening of Nieuwe Blanc. My apologies for not having welcomed you to the neighborhood already. Think nothing of it. You'll have to excuse me for not knocking on your door when we arrived, old friend. Speaking of reminders, how are your colleagues back in the Eastern Quarter? The ones that managed to survive, that is. Quite alright, thank you very much. Sorry to disappoint you. Though if it makes you feel any better, I hear the elders still have nightmares, courtesy of all of you. Sure better, we busted right into their little council and took them hostage. You'd have not fared so well had I not been absent on another mission. Wait, are you Yin? That legendary something? The strongest warrior of the Eastern Quarter. And you must be bloody surely. You're one of the strongest battalion commanders of any Jaeger Corps on the continent, despite being only 16 years old. I guess so. Honestly, I'd way rather do all my hunting solo. But enough about me, what's with the getup? I bet you'd be loads more powerful without that fancy schmancy mask and cape on. I beg your pardon? It's taking a lot out of you, right? Keeping it all together. Your muscles would be a heck of a lot stronger if they could move the way they wanna, right? Well. It does an old man proud to know his daughter's got a good eye for things. So she had a sore spot. Surely knows what she wants when she sees it. Don't mention it. Zhao, I suggest we move on ahead, unless you have more catching up you'd like to do. Not at all, sorry to keep you. Until we meet again. Yeah, see you around. Bye-bye now. Bro. Chapter 2, the West Zemuria Trade Conference, end. Invigorate quartz. Nice. What's this? Tower of Terror. Okay. I was going to do the intermission chapter today, but I can't. I'm sorry. I didn't sleep well last night, and my throat decided to give out an hour into the stream. So I'm going to end here, and we will be back tomorrow. Is it tomorrow? Yes, tomorrow. So I'll see you guys then. Bye-bye.